this video I'm going to talk to you about how to differentiate by rule. Differentiation is a process where we have a function, and if we differentiate it gives us a new function for the gradient that describes that function above. Let's use function notation to begin with. If I say a function with one term is x to the power n, by differentiation we use the notation f dash of x, which describes the gradient of that function. We pull the power down and multiply it by the variable x with one reduced power. So I'm going to subtract one whole number off that power. Let me give you an example. If f of x equals x squared, then f dash of x equals, we bring the power down, 2x, and we reduce 1 off the power. 2 take away 1 is 1. So we're just left with 2x to the power 1, which is just 2x. There are other rules that apply to differentiation. For example, when we have a coefficient in front of a variable. So if I've got f of x equals 2x cubed, for example, what the rule says is we still follow. We pull that power down and multiply it by what's already there. So f dash of x becomes 6x, and then we need to reduce 1 off the power. 3 take away 1 is 2. So the derivative of that function is 6x squared. Then we need to consider what the gradient actually is by visual. So if I just have a look at a flat line, okay? A flat line gives, let's just give an equation to the line. Let's suppose this is for y equals 4. So if this is the line of y equals 4, what's the gradient of that function? Well, the gradient is 0. So what we say is when we have a constant to differentiate, because the gradient of that constant is 0, when we differentiate it, it disappears. So if you have f of x equals, let's do a two-term equation, x squared plus 4, we can differentiate each individual term by following the rules that we've talked about. So the first term follows this rule. We pull the power down and reduce 1 off. The constant 4, if we were to draw it as a flat line, so therefore the gradient is 0, so we don't need to write anything because it's 0. This pretty much talks about rule number 4, which is when you've got different terms within an equation, you differentiate each term separately if it's separated by a plus or a takeaway sign. And that's pretty much the basics of differentiation by rule.